The Economic Mobility Pilot Program is one of the most supported immigration programs I have seen to date. They waive the processing fees. The processing time is 6 months or less. They allow you to take loans or get funding for your proof of funds, but it's limited to refugees. Today, we are going to talk about the Economic Mobility Pilot Program, how it works, who is qualified, what to do if you are qualified, and how to move to Canada through this program. So first of all, remember when we hear the word pilot, it means it's a temporary program. This program has been rolled out in phases. This is phase 2 of the program. And during this phase, they are targeting 500 refugees and their family. Not a lot of people compared to the 500,000 cap that they're looking forward to welcoming each year, but still, it's a good initiative. Now, this program helps skilled refugees to immigrate to Canada, and it gives employers a chance to access a new pool of qualified candidates, right? This program plugs into other existing economic immigration programs. What does that even mean, right? So let's dive into what that even means. So first of all, there are two types or two sectors of this program. There is the regional and there's the federal. Through the regional program, you are going through the economic mobility program to other programs within the regional category. So there is the Atlantic Immigration Program, which we know about. There is a Provincial Nominee Program, and then there's a Rural and Northern Program. So refugees are able to go through the Economic Mobility Program and apply through these programs with very special circumstances because of their situation. At the federal level, there are two streams. There is the no job offer stream and there is the job offer stream, which means that you either have a job or you don't have a job. So they've made a lot of provisions to help people who are in these situations as refugees or displaced people in their countries. Now, here's the things. This program is providing a lot of support for these refugees and their families. They've waived the application fees and the biometric fees. The processing time is a record 6 months. That's the plan anyway. They cover the cost of medical exams. They give you access to immigration loan programs, and there is a specific economic mobility pilot program orientation, and then you can use a loan to meet the financial requirements, whereas a person showing proof of funds for other programs have to show that they have the money in their bank account. This program allows you to have funding, grants, gifts, and loans. Now here is one criteria for who can apply. A refugee is considered a refugee based on the status that they have been given. It's not a self-proclaimed status. It is something that you should be able to prove by a document or a certificate, registration, or something on the record. And don't worry if you don't have any of these. If you know yourself to be a refugee, you can reach out to one of the supporting organizations to help you provide proof that you are a refugee and have refugee status. There's a link in the description below that will give you that. But listen to this, watch this through to the end so you can get all the information as to where you need to go and what you need to do. The next thing is that you have to be living outside of Canada to apply. Okay. So the second criteria now is it's not a free for all. Your status as a refugee is one check mark. The next thing is that there are certain levels of work experience, education, language, proof of funds, and a job offer that you will be required to have or show, and it is all based on either the whatever federal or regional category or program that you go through. So remember that this is not just for people who are refugees in and of themselves. It's also skilled refugees who can be plugged into a workplace in Canada and thrive. So on the federal level, you have the job offer stream. Job offer means that you have to have a job offer. This job offer does not need to be supported by an LMIA. Bing. It does have to be a full-time, non-seasonal, minimum 30 hours a week job from a Canadian employer in any of the tiers. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Your work experience, which you would have had before applying to this program or going into this program with a job offer, is that you have to have had 1,560 total work hours in any given time to show as proof of work experience in any tier. And this can also include self-employment. This program is getting lots of perks, lots of check marks to make this very easy for refugees. Education must match the tier of the job offer. So whatever the job offer is, if it is a tier 4 job offer, whatever the educational requirements for that tier, once you have those educational requirements, you're good to go. Language is level 4 if you are in tier 4 or 5, or level 5 if you are tier 0, 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to show you a language table soon so you can understand where that falls. But basically level 4 is literally the lowest score you can possibly get on an English test, English or French test, which means that there's not much that is required if the highest score is 10, the lowest score is 4. It's basically base model. You can communicate in English just a little bit. That's level 4. Your work experience now for the no job offer stream. So if you had a job offer, those were the requirements. For the no job offer stream, now you have to have some level of work experience. So full-time or part-time, 1,560 hours again, but it had to be gained within the last 3 years in tier 0, 1, 2, or 3. So tier 3 is basically where the cutoff is for most jobs that require some level of post-secondary education. Self-employment does not count for work experience for the no job offer stream or training. The education, Canadian secondary school level or a diploma, degree, certificate, and again that's going to be based on the tier. Okay, so even though I said like some level of post-secondary, there's secondary school level here, but that maybe in tier 3, there can be secondary school level, but we know that tier 0, 1, 2 are usually managerial or regulated professions or managers or supervisors or professions that usually require a high level of education. So degree, diploma, or certificate, and it has to be assessed by our education credential assessment body like World Education Services. The language level is a little bit higher than the previous one that we saw where you do have a job offer. So you have to have at least a level 7, which is kind of like the midways. Like if 4 is like, okay, if level 4 is like 50%, I guess, then level 7 is like 75%, thereabout, okay? Your proof of funds can be grants, gifts, donations, and once you are able to meet these requirements, you can go ahead through this program as a refugee or a displaced person without a job offer. Here are the proof of funds, however, for the no job offer stream, which I find to be a little bit on the high side. So for one person, if it's just one person in your family, you're looking at about 13,000 Canadian dollars. But remember that this can be a grant, it can be a gift or a donation of the sort, and the bodies that help you to qualify for this program and to work through this program may be able to give you some suggestions as to how to put together these funds. And of course, the bigger the family size is, the more money you need. So it is to include even the people that are not coming with you that you support, so dependents of you, no matter where they are in the world. So you have to tally up your full family count. So your children, dependent spouse, if your spouse is a dependent spouse. So these are the proof of funds. So this is even higher than the Atlantic Immigration Program, but this is for the no job offer stream, okay? No job offer stream. So you're a skilled immigrant, you're coming to Canada, you don't have a job offer. This is what you need to show. These are the language test results, and I just want to show you this so that you can understand where you fall in terms of if you have a job offer, you can have the bare minimum, which is a score 4 or 5 on a Canadian language benchmark. And if you don't have a job, you're halfway to the top at level 7 in terms of what your language skills should be. So this is a good reminder, just base model level 4, if not like 75%. Now there are the regional streams. So regional streams will now plug you into existing economic immigration programs like the Atlantic Immigration Program, which we spoke about as the first episode in the A to Z series. So you can go and watch that video. Then there is a provincial nominee program, and then there's a rural and northern immigration pilot program. And all these programs have their own requirements to qualify for them. So the economic mobility program is like, okay, a refugee can use these requirements and plug into any one of these programs and qualify and move to Canada through and get permanent residency through the combination of these programs. Now, English, you must have English or French skills. You must have education and training or work experience, the TEE in tier. And you need to have a job offer, which is typical of these programs anyway, that does not need to be supported by an LMIA. Usually in Atlantic Immigration Program and the Rural Northern Immigration Program, employers are LMIA exempt. So this is good. So this is, have those two programs. You must have these, but then there are some exceptions for refugees who are going through these programs. Here are the exceptions. Your work experience doesn't need to be the number of hours for the program. So say, for instance, Atlantic Immigration Program says you need to have 1 year work experience. You don't have to meet that criteria. You can use a loan for proof of funds, which is not very typical. And your education, your certificates, your school leaving certificates, your diploma does not need to go through an education assessment credential body. So it does not need to go through World Education Services. And this is just for the Atlantic Immigration Program and the Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot Program. So these are the exceptions just for refugees through the Economic Mobility Program. Now, how do you apply? There are several bodies that the government points you to for assistance. These bodies can help you to define or prove your refugee status. These bodies can help you with suggestions as to the jobs, and these bodies can help you with the actual application. And I'm presuming that these are either working for you at no cost or at a discounted cost, but this is a good resource to reach out to these people to see what is available to you. They'll help you and they'll point you in the right direction. So in summary, this is not a overly complicated program necessarily. It is one program plus some other programs which we already know about, but the best thing to do is to reach out to one of the bodies that we just mentioned, and the link will be in the description below, to be able to prove your refugee or displaced person status. And then once you're able to prove that, you go on to go and complete the applications and the requirements based on the stream. So whether you choose the no job offer stream or the job offer stream, the Atlantic Immigration Program, Rural and Northern Immigration Program, or the Provincial Nominee Program. It's good to know that they are accepting, in this phase of the program, they are accepting 500 applications. So of course there is a limit, but definitely reach out to one of those bodies for assistance. I know that there have been a couple of people who have passed through my channel asking about refugee status, and I'm happy to have found out more about this program in order to tell you that this Economic Mobility Pilot Program is specifically for skilled refugees or displaced people around the world. I'm not going to get into the politics of what is happening about refugees not being able to find homes here. I think that everything requires context. We don't know the context behind refugees that are not able to find homes or refugees that are not happy in Canada. To each their own. And the best thing you can do is to get some help, get some advice, prepare properly so that when you come here, you're able to ease back into your career as a skilled immigrant and work towards building a sustainable life in Canada. What are your next steps? If this is a good fit for you, contact one of the organizations that can help. The link is going to be in the description below. Also subscribe, continue watching, keep us posted if this program is something that you saw on this channel and you went through to it and it worked out for you. There will maybe attract snarky comments in the comment section about refugees in Canada. Remember that everything should be taken within context, and sometimes we don't know the context. We only know the story that comes out in the media. So be careful to what you listen to. This is an information session to give you information about this program, to see if it works for you, to see if you and your family can come to Canada as skilled refugees and thrive in Canada. Thank you as always for watching. I appreciate you. Please give this video a thumbs up. Help other people know that it is worth watching, but also helping YouTube know that it is worth watching as well. Watch the A to Z series for all of the immigration programs from A to Z. We are now on episode 4, and we have lots more to go every Monday and Tuesday. See you in the next video.